Ciao Fabri.
Hello guys, here we go.
Yes, it's a new era of our podcast. We are so happy about it. We were waiting for this moment since months. Now we can say that.
Yes.
And now it's been reality.
We are here for free, finally. You can be with us every Wednesday, and not only because we'll have some updates for you in the coming days and always here for you to give you transfer updates, and not only behind the scenes. We want to remember you that this podcast is about the behind the scenes of the transfer market. So what's going on for the big deals, but not only, and we'll stay together to give you the latest.
Yeah, and we start.
Here we go. The Here We Go podcast is proudly sponsored by Skrill, the payments app for money movers and money makers. Go to Skrill.com to see all the ways Skrill lets you pay quickly and easily without relying on your bank, or download the app by searching for Skrill, spelled Skrill, and sign up in seconds.
And now we can start officially. Francesco Porzio speaking with Fabrizio Romano. Thanks to Skrill again. We can say that again because of course they are our partner now. So
Yes.
we are in this journey together, and we are gonna have a lot of surprises for you that are listening in the coming weeks, coming months. So stay tuned.
So happy to be together, yes, for free, as we said, and ready to start with big names.
Yes. Let's start with one of the biggest names right now in transfer market in the world of football, because we are talking about, of course, the one and only, the alien, as you call him, Holland.
My favorite, I have to say, my favorite talent in this moment in the world. And you remember that 1 week ago, Mino Raiola, his agent, was talking about 10 clubs can afford to sign Erling Haaland in the future. And we said about the names of these clubs, and we mentioned Manchester United, and we mentioned Manchester City, and we mentioned Liverpool, and we mentioned also the situation of Chelsea. Obviously, we also mentioned Spanish clubs, Real Madrid and Barcelona, and we mentioned Juventus, and we mentioned Paris Saint-Germain, and we mentioned Bayern Munich. We were talking about clubs that could pay for Erling Haaland, but it doesn't mean that are clubs that are working to sign Erling Haaland. So only some of these clubs are really planning to try to sign Erling Haaland. First thing I want to say is that no one is really close to sign Erling Haaland. We are in March. The deal will be decided during the summer. So at the moment, the player is happy in Dortmund. What Zorc said is true. So they will fight to keep the player. But among these 10 clubs, we can say that one is 100% out at the moment of the race. Bayern Munich are not working to sign Erling Haaland. They're happy with Lewandowski. They have the striker, and Haaland will go where he will be 100% sure he will be a starter, he will be a star, he will play Champions League football as a real top player and not on the bench as if you have Lewandowski. So we can say that at the moment from Bayern Munich there is nothing with Erling Haaland.
Yeah, we mentioned it, the listeners that follow us in the last month on Patreon knows that we talk a lot about Holland because we like him, we love the guy, we love the player, of course, and you in particular, you absolutely love him.
Yes, I mean, we're talking about the goal machine, so yeah. Because I still remember the day when he was close to join Juventus. I was working around it, and now he's one of the best strikers in the world.
It was fun, actually. Remember when he went to Dortmund, we were covering that, and we were sure, not sure, but he was very close also to Leipzig. And
yes.
From one day to the other, Borussia Dortmund, done. That was quite interesting.
Yes.
And but we always said that he really also likes to play for Borussia Dortmund. So he has no rush, but of course we know that one day he will join another club. And talking about that, we know that he has a release clause, and that's a release clause that, thinking about it today, it's crazy because it's 75 million, and this clause is from 2022, right? So not from this summer.
Yes, the clause is 2022, but what we can say is that there are huge chances to see Erling Haaland leaving Borussia Dortmund this summer if they won't be in the Champions League next season. So the key is the Champions League. If they won't be in the Champions League, it will be really difficult to keep Erling Haaland also this summer because these big clubs are moving and trying to get Erling Haaland. There is no one close, as I mentioned, but for sure the situation will be like dangerous if Borussia Dortmund won't be in the Champions League. So they will fight. Haaland will be the first one to fight. He's one of the best professionals I know in football, really. Always focused on football, always focused on the pitch, always focused on trainings. So he will be the first to fight, and you can see the player on the pitch. It's impossible for Haaland to say, no, I'm thinking to leave the club, so I'm not going at 100% and best level. Impossible. He's fighting for Borussia Dortmund in the Champions League, and he's happy and respectful with Borussia Dortmund. Then, if the club won't be in the Champions League next season, keep an eye on Erling Haaland because it will be an interesting summer with Mino Raiola in the air. He's always in.
And when Mino Raiola is, we follow him, of course, because of the many players he has, many players he's dealing with. And I mean, there is a special connection also between the Manchester United manager, Solskjaer, and Holland for their past. And that helps me to bring to the next step of our episode, the next chapter, because we talk a bit about Manchester United now. And another striker, Edison Cavani in this case. So there was a deal of one of the, not last minute, but last days.
It was last minute. It was Cavani or Jovic.
Exactly.
They were offered to Manchester United and they decided to go for Cavani and not Jovic on loan in this case.
But what about the future of Edison Cavani?
We can say that, as Solskjaer mentioned 1 week ago, they will decide in the coming weeks, in the coming months, so there is nothing decided yet for the contract, and we have to remember that obviously they will decide together about the future of Edinson Cavani. What we can say is that Edinson is open to discuss with Manchester United. He's happy at Manchester United, with Manchester United life, with Premier League life. He always had a dream of playing in the Champions League. He arrived at the last years of his career, but he's still a fantastic striker, obviously. The age is part of the game for all top players also, but he's open to discuss with Manchester United. So the club will decide together with Cavani after his injury in the coming weeks. They will meet, they will decide, but the player is open to discuss, to sit and to decide about his future. So let's see, but I feel positive atmosphere around Edinson Cavani and Manchester United, but it will depend by also the economical agreement and also what Edinson Cavani wants for his future.
Let's talk about, I mean, in January, there was a moment of when there was a rumor about Donny van de Beek that could leave the club, he could leave Manchester United, and someone wanted him.
Yes, because we always say that it was impossible for Donny van de Beek to leave Manchester United, but we still receive questions because it's normal. When you have this kind of player paying this kind of money, in my opinion, it was a good deal for Manchester United, to be honest. I like the player. I'm told that he's one of the best professionals they have in the team, always respectful. Also, when he's not playing, he's always respectful with the club, with the badge of Manchester United, with the history of the club, with the manager, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. So for sure, he's been always respectful. But imagine, and we can say this behind the scenes, that one club was trying to sign Van de Beek in January. It was a loan, a simple loan till the end of the season, and Manchester United said no, we won't let him go. That's what happened with Van de Beek. Let's see what happens in the summer. We still don't know at the moment. They are not planning about it, so we will see at the end of the season. It will depend on many things with the player and more, and Manchester United strategy always. But in January, one club arrived and said to Manchester United, okay, let's do a loan deal. And it was no English clubs, so other country, other league, but the player and also Manchester United said, we go on, we want to try again with Donny. And really, I want to say congrats to the player, because being so respectful when you're not playing and you're respecting something different is not for everyone.
And I honestly hope that he will play more in the future, because he deserves that, and he's an unbelievable midfielder, so he
I
deserves
agree.
to play more. I mean, that's my opinion, so it's up to Solskjaer, not to me, but that's my opinion. Anyway, what about Lamptey? Because it's a player that you gave an
Yes.
interesting news about him, about the renewal of the contract. What are the updates about him?
Yes, we said like 1 month ago on the podcast that Lamptey was gonna join, extend the contract with Brighton, and we are talking about one of the best young right backs in the world, in my opinion. 1 week ago, we were talking about Max Herons in the list of Everton and Manchester United, and today we want to talk about the situation of Lamptey because we said he extended the contract. It was our exclusive, confirmed, but we always said keep an eye on this player because he extended the contract because he's deserving something different by the salary side. But for sure next summer can happen something big for him. Arsenal are looking at him as possible option as right back. So keep an eye on Arsenal because they are among the clubs interested in Lamptey. There is still nothing advanced. There is still nothing signed or something like this. So nothing serious yet, but they are looking at him. He's in the list. He's considered an interesting player. So Arsenal will decide the future in the coming months. They will plan like in April, in May, and not in March for next summer. But they are looking at players, interesting players, good opportunities, and Lamptey for sure is in the list. Not only for Arsenal, because other clubs are interested, English clubs, and not only. So keep an eye on Lamptey because he's so appreciated. But Arsenal are scouting this guy, and they are appreciating him.
I mean, you talk about renewal of the contracts, and when there is, I think we don't talk much about what's going on at AC Milan because that's, I mean, another topic, but still, because we were talking about renewal of the contracts, and in 3 months, the contracts of Gigio Donnarumma, Hakan Çalhanoğlu, and Zlatan Ibrahimovic will be, expired. So that's something incredible and unbelievable to me. And that's bring me to Donnarumma because there are rumors about Chelsea, and is that something true?
Yes, I always see these kind of rumors about Donnarumma and Chelsea, and saying that Donnarumma is appreciated by Chelsea is something normal because we are talking about one of the best goalkeepers in the world. In my opinion, I would say that Donnarumma is so underrated outside from Italy, just because they don't know him by the Champions League way,
because he never played,
and also obviously World Cup, these kind of things.
Yeah.
Never playing in top competition, but in the Serie A, we are talking about for sure the best goalkeeper, and in my opinion, for the future, he will be one of the best in the world, 100%. And he's
already,
right now,
I think, yeah.
Yes, one of the best in the world.
It's unbelievable when we talk about Donnarumma. Then I let you continue. When you see the numbers of Donnarumma, the stats about how many big games he played, how many penalties he saved, or all these things, and he's 22.
Yes.
And it's unbelievable. And, congrats to Sinisa Mihajlovic that let him play that game against, who was it? I don't remember against who, but it was
Sassuolo.
Sassuolo. True.
But we can say that about Chelsea, they are not talking at the moment to sign the player. Interest is like saying, we like Donnarumma. Also me, but
I also like Donnarumma.
So a lot of clubs appreciate Donnarumma, but at the moment he's negotiating with AC Milan to extend the contract. It's possible that a release clause will be included in his new contract with AC Milan if he will sign the contract. So now Mino Raiola, why him again, is talking with AC Milan. They are negotiating. There are huge possibilities to see Donnarumma extending the contract with AC Milan, but he wants a release clause, so we will see. They are talking, but at the moment with Chelsea there is nothing advanced. Also because Donnarumma priority is staying at AC Milan.
Yeah, he loves the club also, and makes sense. Another player that we appreciate so much is Fikayo Tomori. It was actually one of
my favorite news in my life, to be honest.
I agree with you. Yeah, I agree with you. Because it was nice to see that, a lot of people were saying Simakan, and then it was Tomori. So
yes.
I mean, let's stop here the appreciation.
But what a player! He was a starter against Roma, and he was the best
AC
on the
Milan
pitch.
fans went crazy against Roma because he played so well. He played instead of Romagnoli, so not an easy replacement. And he was amazing. He played really good. And so the question now is, what's happening between AC Milan and Tomori for the future? Because we know that he's on loan with a buyout option. So will AC Milan trigger the release the option or not?
What we can say that we have a lot of rumors about it in the last days, and a lot of rumors saying that AC Milan are moving to pay the 28 million euro clause option. At the moment, there is still a situation where they are looking to wait. They are saying, okay, at the end of the season, they will sit with Chelsea and decide. They are really, really impressed with Tomori. Imagine that the sporting director of AC Milan, Ricky Massara, is in love with the player. Paolo Maldini, probably one of the best, if not the best centre-back in the history, he was always appreciating Tomori. So they started with a good feeling on the player, but now, after first trainings and first matches as a AC Milan player, they are in love with him, with his effort. And imagine that he's playing instead of Romagnoli, the captain of AC Milan. So the impact was so good. They will decide about the option only at the end of the season. We are talking about 28 million euro. For Chelsea, after spending this kind of money last summer, you can see something like something simple, but it's not simple for Italian football to spend 28 million euro for
especially
a centre back
right now. Yeah.
For a centre back right now in COVID and pandemic situation. So it's not so easy, but for sure, AC Milan are so happy with Tomori. And what we can say is that if he will continue like this, probably he will be the favorite between many players AC Milan have on loan, like Brahim, Dalot, many others. They are focusing on Tomori as the best one at the moment, but we are in March, at the beginning of March. So we have to see at the end of the season. At the moment, there is nothing decided, and Chelsea have not received anything from AC Milan.
No, but it's interesting because we know that AC Milan, regardless what's happening with Tomori, will go for a center-back, young center-back. So if it's not going to be him, it's going to be... I mean, there are not many players.
Yes,
like
they wanted Kabak before joining
exactly.
Liverpool.
So Ozan Kabak, Simakan, who is
Simakan is joining
Leipzig
as
exactly. So there are not many. I mean, there are others, of course, but
keep an eye on Milenkovic also for top clubs looking for a centre back because he's out of contract in 1 year, and many clubs are looking at Milenkovic. We mentioned him in our last podcast 1 week ago. So for sure, will be interesting, the next market for centre-backs. 100%.
Yeah.
A lot of centre-backs involved. We mentioned Upamecano and Luke and Sergio Ramos. In some minutes, we're going to discuss about Varane and many, many others. We're talking about top players. Alaba could be considered a centre-back, left-back, midfielder and everything.
Whatever.
But so many players. Botman also, we're going to discuss about him. So really, keep an eye on centre-backs and Konate and many, many others. Koundé.
And you didn't mention that because this one is a bit older, but Thiago Silva, who is a former AC Milan player.
Yes.
And what about the renewal of the contract? Because there were talks at the beginning of the season when he was doing really good. Now a bit less talks, but it's still something that possible.
I can say that Thiago Silva knows that Chelsea want to keep him. They want to keep him. They are happy with him. Tuchel is happy with him. The board is happy with him as a leader and not just as a player. So they are planning to have a meeting with Thiago Silva, with his agent in the coming weeks, and to plan about the new contract. So 100% Chelsea want to keep Thiago Silva. Thiago is happy. He will decide in the coming weeks with his family. Obviously, we're talking about a guy who is not so young. He's a great leader. He's a great player, fantastic player, but not so young. So that's why he wants to decide for his personal life and not just for football. Yeah. But for sure, at the moment, he's happy with Chelsea. He feels he wants to continue in the Premier League instead of his age. He wants to play at top level, and that's why Chelsea have positive feelings, and Thiago Silva could extend his contract in the coming weeks. They have the option, huh?
They have the option, yeah.
They have the option. So it could be triggered in the coming weeks to extend together. They have to decide together.
Yeah, of course, Tuchel also will be part of the decision.
Absolutely. The Here We Go podcast is proudly sponsored by Skrill, the payments app for money movers and money makers. Go to Skrill.com to see all the ways Skrill lets you pay quickly and easily without relying on your bank, or download the app by searching for Skrill, spelled Skrill, and sign up in seconds.
All right, and do you remember the rumors about talking about center backs, because we are talking about center backs right now, the rumors about Botman that have reached an agreement with an English club in January?
Yes, a lot of rumors also some weeks ago saying that there is an agreement from France, rumors from France saying that there is an agreement with an English club, 45 million euro. I want to say again, not true. We mentioned Botman as one of the potential center backs of the summer because Lille needs to sell players Botman is an interesting centre back. They are so happy with him, but they know that top clubs are going for Botman. What I want to add about Liverpool is that they've been never close to sign Botman in January. We had a lot of rumors on deadline day, private flight, and many things about Botman also during the other weeks, agreement reached and negotiation. Not true. They are looking at the player because he's appreciated, but they never started anything official or advanced for Botman. Keep an eye on the other clubs that are looking for a centre-back, because we know in the summer a lot of centre-backs will move, a lot of centre-backs will be part of the market, and keep an eye on Botman, because in my opinion he will be one of the most interesting, because he's really good player. And again here, Luis Campos,
Yeah,
the director, my favorite, the Holland of the sporting directors.
Yeah.
In the next weeks, he will decide his next club. So I will be so curious to see where he will go, because we will talk about the man who discovered players like Mbappe and what a director. So when he will
wherever
decide,
he goes,
when he will decide the new club, we will do a special episode to talk about Luis Campos and to mention how it works.
Because it's super interesting to. It's one of the best one out there, for sure. I mean, there were. Let's go back to Tottenham in this case. There were rumors about a possible, interest from Juventus for Lo Celso. Is that something you can confirm or not?
Yes, there are a lot of rumors about Lo Celso, always, in this case, rumors coming from Italy and mentioning Lo Celso as an option with Juventus. Someone saying that Cristiano Ronaldo approved the deal for Juventus. I'm receiving a lot of questions about it. Not true. Giovanni Lo Celso is not negotiating with Juventus. He's focused on Tottenham. He's not thinking to leave the club. So there is nothing at the moment. So really, for Giovanni Lo Celso, total focus on Tottenham. Obviously, he wants to be one of the most important players. He's fighting for his place. He's not part of football, but there is nothing. He's not unhappy at Tottenham. So at the moment, the situation is under control, and Juventus is not working for it.
Talking about Tottenham, there is another situation, the one of Jose Mourinho, the manager, who had a great start of the season in Premier League, especially really strong start for Spurs. Then something happened from October, November, and now it's a bit better. But what's the situation between Jose Mourinho, the club, and of course for the future, for the next seasons?
Yes, at the moment we can say that obviously the situation with Tottenham wasn't so easy on the pitch till some days ago. So we had immediately rumors talking about other managers and a lot of rumors about Nagelsmann. I want to say about Nagelsmann, just quick one. A lot of clubs are interested in Julian Nagelsmann. Yeah. Really, lot of clubs. Yeah. So many clubs involved in the race, and it won't be easy to have Nagelsmann on your bench next season to all clubs, and say not just Tottenham. But at the moment, Mourinho is still under control. As we mentioned last time, with Dele Alli situation, something was going in danger because people was not so happy with how it was going with Dele Alli, good player, never playing, situation on the market. We know about Paris Saint-Germain and more. But at the moment, the situation is under control for Mourinho. He's ready to complete the season and absolutely focus it on Europa League and obviously Premier League.
Of course, the next month will be crucial for his future. So we see how the season ends. So it's impossible right now to say what's going to happen for sure. I mean, talking about Manchester City, who is probably the club of the moment right now in the Premier League.
Yes.
Pep Guardiola, the club, they're always monitoring and scouting young players also outside England. And there was a rumor about their interest for Manuel Locatelli, who is a very, very good talent from Sassuolo, grown at AC Milan, and right now is one of the stars of the team, and he's doing really great. Was something true, like that City were interested in him?
So we have to clarify about Locatelli. First of all, as you mentioned, interesting player, good player. He's good to play in the midfield with two players. He's playing with two midfielders in Sassuolo, but he could also play with three. For example, with Italian national team, he was one of the best players in the last one, with Roberto Mancini in love with this player. So we're talking about one of the most interesting Italian talents at the moment, talking about midfielders. Manchester City are looking at him, saying like scouting. there is nothing like contact with the agents or something like this. So at the moment there is nothing. Sassuolo have not received anything. My feeling around the situation behind the scenes, talking with people behind the scenes, is that Locatelli will go to a top club, but in Italy probably, and not outside from Italy. But let's see. At the moment there is nothing with Manchester City. The price of the player is around 45 million euro. That's what Sassuolo are asking for Locatelli, and that's why I say it's not so easy to sign this player, because probably people around the world don't know him. We know him in Italy because we're talking about an interesting player, always a starter in Sassuolo, one of the most interesting team in the Serie A, but at the moment, I think he won't be a starter at Manchester City, just to make you understand. In his time, in the future, why not? He has top qualities, so it's possible, but at the moment there is nothing advanced with Manchester City.
Juventus director Fabio Paratici, who is someone that we always appreciate because he's really one of the best, was really into him last summer, really tried for him, and also Andrea Pirlo loves the player, and they tried, but Sassuolo were asking, as you said, was like 40 million last summer, so I think it's worth it, but Sassuolo is also not an easy team to deal with, because they what they ask is what they want. So it's not like
it's also for another player we will talk, I think, this summer, that is Jeremy Boga. We had a lot of rumors for him, former Chelsea player, about Borussia Dortmund. We're looking at him as possible replacement for Sancho, and many other clubs were looking at him last summer. But Sassuolo always said 45 million euro or nothing. Napoli wanted him, Rennes wanted him. They said 45 or nothing, and it was nothing.
Talking about Manchester City, Eric Garcia is one of the names we mentioned many times in the podcast in the last month. We mentioned it because was also your news that he was going to play for Barcelona starting from July 1st this year, and that was already last October. Seems 5 years ago, but it's 4 months ago, and there were some doubts. Some people said, it was not sure 100% it was going.
Someone was saying Arsenal, Paris Saint-Germain, other clubs joining the race.
Nothing.
No, he will play for Barcelona. He has an agreement to play for Barcelona, 5 years contract. Pep Guardiola was fighting, and he's really disappointed because he's really sad. He's not disappointed. He's sad because he wanted Eric Garcia to stay at Manchester City, but he's going to play for Barcelona. And finally, also Pep Guardiola himself said, I think he will go there just because this is the season, and that's it. So Eric Garcia will be the first signing for Barca. He's just missing the last signature on the contract, obviously, because the new president at Barcelona has to arrive and everything, but the agreement is ready. The player wants to play for Barcelona, and Guardiola was talking about it in press conference because he knows that Eric Garcia will play for Barca.
There is a very particular situation in Barcelona right now, and we are not talking about the former president, but we are talking about another situation, and we are talking about Ousmane Dembélé, who we know was also in talks with Manchester United last summer, and what about him right now?
Yes, what I want to say about Barcelona, we were mentioning about the president and the elections and everything, the big changes they're having. The situation of Ousmane Dembélé will be one of the first things and issues to resolve for Barcelona, because with this board, that will change now, obviously, but with this board and with the Bartomeu board, there was no agreement for the new contract of Dembélé. No agreement. And it's going to expire in 2022. So it's just 1 year of contract. So one of the first things to do for Barcelona new board will be talking with Dembélé and extend the contract or leave the club. This will be the decision. 100%, because the player was in the list of Liverpool last summer, Juventus were looking at him, Manchester United 100% were asking for a possible loan, and Barcelona said no because of the contract. We explained on our podcast during the window that it was impossible for Manchester United just because Barcelona said no to a loan, because the player was coming back this season with 1 year of contract. So the contract of Dembélé is a problem, and it will be up to the new board, because at the moment with the old board, there was no agreement. We're talking about an important player with 1 year contract and dangerous situation. So it's renew or sell.
Another dangerous situation, now let's talk about Real Madrid. It's the situation of Varane, because it's the same. His contract is expiring in 2022, and at the moment doesn't look like he is renewing or is in talks to renew the contract. And we said this 1 month ago here in the podcast. There are updates about it?
Yes, I won't be so negative, to be honest. What I want to say about Varane is that they are just considering to start talks in the coming weeks. Real Madrid want Varane as part of the future. But keep an eye on this situation because we mentioned top clubs interested in top centre-backs. Varane is now represented by one of the best agencies in the world, CAA base, and they are so strong in the Premier League. So that's why we have to keep an eye on Rafael Varane. But who wants Varane has to pay. That's 100% for sure. Just because the situation with Real Madrid is not easy. At the moment, there is no agreement. There is nothing advanced yet. They are not negotiating yet. There is no agreement, meaning they are still not negotiating, and he has 1 year of contract. But for sure, it will be one of the issues. So immediately after the situation of Sergio Ramos, immediately after taking a decision on Sergio Ramos, they will go with Rafael Varane because it's something important for Real Madrid.
And you mentioned Sergio Ramos, and there is also another situation, the one of Luka Modric, who is something we were talking about since, I think it was December, was during more or less during the Christmas time that there was the news of Luka Modric, that he was about to renew the contract, but still nothing so far from the club. So what's happening?
Luka Modric is staying at Real Madrid.
Okay.
We can say that he will extend the contract. We have a lot of questions because it's still not signed, and it's normal that people are saying, why? There are rumors, it's done. It's done. It's done. Luka Modric is staying at Real Madrid. He accepted to stay for 1 season. He accepted also the difficult salary situation at the Real Madrid. He's been so respectful with the club. So congrats to Luka Modric again, and his new contract is almost ready. Just a matter of announcing. But Luka wants to stay. Real Madrid wants to extend. They had the agreement, so it's just up to them to announce the deal. The Here We Go podcast is proudly sponsored by Skrill, the payments app for money movers and money makers. Go to Skrill.com to see all the ways Skrill lets you pay quickly and easily without relying on your bank, or download the app by searching for Skrill, spelled Skrill, and sign up in seconds.
So Paris Saint-Germain are also working on a talent that they already know very well.
Yes, because they're talking about an interesting central midfielder, talented guy, and this Xavi Simons, former Barcelona player, now at Paris Saint-Germain, starting to look at the first team and to train at top level. So interesting talent, really. He's out of contract in 1 year, so in 2022, but the club wants to keep him. They are working to extend this contract. They are working to offer him a new contract. So Xavi Simons is part of the future of Paris Saint-Germain. They are so happy with the guy, so happy with the player, but they have to complete the agreement with his agent about the contract, but for sure they want to keep him.
Is Mino Raiola the agent, right?
Yes, not official yet because the player is not 18, so we will see what he will decide, but rumors saying that there is Mino Raiola around.
All right. Let's end the podcast with an Italian club in this case. So we are talking about Inter Milan, who is a club that we will see in the next weeks because probably something will happen from a club point of view. So there will be some changes in the club. I mean, it's not something we know, but it's been reported. So that's very likely at the end because Suning, the Chinese group, is now deciding to leave football in a way. They're doing that in China, so probably will happen something similar in Italy. We'll see what happens, but this can have an impact also on transfer market, especially next summer. And Christian Eriksen was a player that was in the radar of a comeback in the Premier League in January. Didn't happen.
And Leicester.
Tottenham, Leicester. Also West Ham, if I remember.
West Ham no, but Tottenham and Leicester were
Tottenham
really
Leicester.
Yes.
And now looks that he's in the project. He's very into the project of Inter Milan.
Yes, it is something different, really. If I think to Christian Eriksen 2 months ago, it was really something crazy because he was never playing before this derby with AC Milan, scoring in the derby. Everything changed. Inter are now leading the Serie A. They are having a fantastic effort from Christian Eriksen. So he's another player. At the moment, he's not thinking to leave the club. It's totally different situation. Football is crazy, but really, what a player right now. He's involved with Antonio Conte. He's always talking in a positive way. And trust us, in December, Antonio Conte was furious with him. And in November, and in October, and in September, and in August.
Yeah.
So this was the situation in Inter. They also said in public, he wants to go. We want to let him
I
go.
remember an interview of the Inter CEO, Beppe Marotta, at the beginning of December, where he was basically saying the player will go, he's not adapting, he's not like happy to stay here.
But they always wanted a loan fee, a loan fee, and also salary 4 million euro after taxes paid.
Yeah.
So imagine that wasn't so easy. And now Eriksen is
at the center of the project, and
yes.
I mean, Inter is benefiting from that.
And another one is Lautaro Martinez,
exactly.
the other man of Inter. He's having a fantastic part.
What
of the
about his contract? Because it's been talks since years right now.
Yes, and we can say that he's extending the contract. He confirmed it, but it's done. They are just discussing if including still the release clause for 111 million euro, if changing the clause, changing the value, or removing the clause. This is the only step. They have the agreement on the salary, they have agreement on the leg dog contract, so there is an agreement on everything. Lautaro is staying at Inter next season. He's happy with Inter, nothing with Barcelona. He was close 1 year ago, but now it's over, and so Lautaro Martinez is staying. And let's see for Eriksen, but at the moment the player is so happy.
Okay, this is it for today. Our first episode officially on the free platforms. We are super happy to do that. Fabri, thank you. See you next week.
Thank you, guys, and here we go. Ciao.